We begin with breaking news. 2 women are dead after a shooting on East Southland Boulevard in South Louisville. That's near the airport. It happened around 4:15 this morning at the Americana Apartments. Both women died at the scene. Police don't know what led up to the shooting, and they're still looking for a person of interest. You can find more information about this on our website, WHAS11.com. If you have any information, you are asked to call LMPD's anonymous tip line. That number is 502-574-LMPD, or you can go to LMPD's website. Now, this case is still developing, so stay with us on air and online as new details as this story that will come out later today. Now let's get you a check on your weekend weather with meteorologist Reed Yaden. He and John are on the road this morning, making a stop in Shelbyville at a local distillery. Reed, a sunny morning so far, but still a little bit of fog around town. Good morning.
Yeah, we've seen some fog out here. It's burning off. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 9 o'clock hour. We're glad you're here. Starting off your weekend with us, as always, we're powered by Thornton's, and this morning we're in Shelbyville on Gordon Lane.
Yes, 500 Gordon Lane here at Jeff the Creed Distillery in Shelbyville.
We have had a number of inquiries over the years. When are you going to start distillery tours? Well, and when are you going to start? We want to see Jeff the Creed in particular because people see it on the highway.
Yes.
Out here on 64, it's beautiful, and I can tell you, it lives up to its expectations. Look at the beautiful bottles that the product is bottled in. Those are absolutely spectacular.
Yes, thank you. That's actually based off of a design that my dad drew up before he even really had a name for the distillery.
Wow.
And we got it custom made, and I kind of joke around that it took a year and a half of my life to get that bottle made.
Now, this distillery is co-owned by you and your mom.
Yes, yes. My mother is our master distiller and our CEO, and then I am our vice president of operations.
Okay, let's check the weather right quick. Then we're going to tell you what's going on here today. Get ready to come out and visit. If you've been wanting to, this is the day. Now, Max 1 shows up our weekend forecast. Temperatures this morning starting in the low 60s. We're going to move to 85 this afternoon and tomorrow. Both days, plenty of sunshine, mid 80s, well above average. You're invited out today because this is the, third annual?
Yes, this is our 3rd annual Harvest Festival. So it'll be going from noon until 6 p.m. Tickets are $25, and you can get them at the door.
And you have all kinds of things going on. Bring the family. Got a big corn maze out here.
Yes.
For sure. It was designed exclusively for this event. Many bands, vendors, a lot of things going on. We'll close the hour out on the lawn and show you some of the beauty here. Now, we're going to go in the production facility next, but right now, let's go back to Gabe, who brings us up to date on more stories we're covering this morning.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Reed. Right now, you are taking a live look at the Capitol building in D.C. as day 4 of the government shutdown continues. It's another quiet one this morning after the Senate failed to pass a Republican-backed spending plan yesterday. Only 54 senators voted for that bill. That is 6 short required of the 60 to pass it. And here in Louisville, Metro government services could face disruptions because of that shutdown. Programs like SNAP and WIC now face the possibility of running out of funds. And if that money runs out, low-income families could find themselves struggling to put food on the table. Now, Dare to Care has over 400 partners assisting low-income families to access food. However, they have faced recent funding cuts from the Trump administration's latest piece of legislation. This leaves the food bank having to ask for more assistance from the community and the private sector in order to continue providing their services. Well, longtime Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Hosklaw and County Sheriff John Aubrey both passed away last month. Now, Mayor Craig Greenberg has announced who will fulfill the rest of their terms. David James will be the incoming sheriff replacing Aubrey, while David Yates will be the new clerk replacing Hosklaw. Both men will serve in those positions through at least the end of next year. Yates already announced his bid to run for clerk, but James says he will not run in the election next year for sheriff.
This gives me an opportunity to be able to prove it, but most importantly, to implement things now.
It's a tremendous amount of pressure to try to walk in the shadow of Sheriff Aubrey.
Yates has served as Metro Council president, but is currently the Senate Minority Whip. Once Yates resigns his seat, Governor Beshear will issue a special election to fill his district in the Senate. James is a retired LMPD officer and former Metro Council president. He will be the first black sheriff of Jefferson County. Well, our reports on homes stolen through quit-claim deed fraud has sparked a call for change from a Metro Council woman. However, deeds are handled through the elected office of the county clerk. WHAS 11's Ian Hardwitt took the problem directly to the new interim clerk, David Yates.
This is not just an issue in Jefferson County, but in other counties as well. And so while I do hope that we can lead, I think the first thing we do is we listen.
Newly appointed Jefferson County Clerk David Yates did not offer specific solutions to quitclaim deed fraud when we pressed him on the day of his appointment. Home takeover victims say their names were too easily pulled off their ownership deeds.
The county clerk's office needs to check their numbers.
Ashley Mack, great niece to Dorothy Tarpon, says the notary who approved Tarpon's signature in the takeover of her aunt's home wasn't certified.
Well, that gets into a whole new problem with some of the issues with the notary, things like that. So you're right. We got to sit down and figure out what works best. And so there's definitely lots of different avenues.
You know, oftentimes these things can happen in just a matter of weeks.
Metro Police spokesperson John Bradley said that police quickly suspected the forgery before Russell Cheatham turned himself in and was charged with stealing Tarpon's identity and having the false deed.
As far as the prevalence of this goes, the county clerk would say this only happens once every 3 years. Is that hot or cold?
It is not very common. It isn't something that happens every day or even every week, even every month. But it is not something that we are not familiar with, and it has happened more than once.
In Louisville, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS 11 on your side.
Moving on, you'll remember back in August, a man was arrested for allegedly kidnapping a mom and her kids and forcing them to drive him to a bank. Well, now he's being ordered to do a psych evaluation. According to court documents, the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center will evaluate Armand Langford to determine his mental condition to the court. He will stay at the Louisville Metro Department of Corrections instead of being transported to KCPC for the evaluation. Another hearing is scheduled for December 17th.